there's this really nasty cycle that we get stuck in where as a highly driven person, we have big goals, big dreams. And so we set these lofty goals. And then when we don't achieve them, we shame ourselves and we tell ourselves that we need more effort. And we double down on our masculine to make shit happen. And we burn ourselves out. And will we get there? You bet. Because a perfectionist, she eventually gets what she wants, but she does it in an unhealthy way.
Hey, I'm Brooke Jean, therapist, recovering perfectionist, and struggling working mom on a mission to normalize normal. If you're an overwhelmed, high achieving, and secretly anxious mama, struggling to balance it all and on the brink of burnout, you are in the right place. Here is where we talk about hard things like balancing work and family life, mental health, and how to navigate life altering transitions. Nothing is too taboo here. In my conversations, I'll teach you how to let go of who you think you're supposed to be in order to create the life you've always wanted. Get ready to embrace your messy, shed the shoulds, and find freedom through a life unperfected. This is the Unperfected Pod.
Welcome back to the Unperfected Pod, where we normalize normal and find freedom in a life unperfected. What is up, Mama? Brooke Jean, your host here. I'm so freaking glad and grateful you are here. I am getting my buns kicked by allergies. I have no idea why. It's freaking July 1st. But if you're wondering why I sound like a nasally, nosy man, well, I'm basically dying from allergies over here. So we're just going to have to deal with it. But I wanted to let you guys know that ahead of time because I don't even feel like myself based on the way that I sound, but also the way that I feel. My head feels a little foggy, things feel a little floaty. But you know what? As a recovering perfectionist, we get up and we show up for the things that we value most, irregardless of if we feel perfect, if we look perfect, if we sound perfect, if we present perfect. We don't need to be perfect. In fact, that is so unrelatable in 2024, isn't it? Perfectionism, like, ew. People are starved for real. People are starved for intimacy. People are starved for vulnerability. And so, if you are waiting to launch that blog or that podcast or that offer or to ask for that promotion or to go out on your first date post your divorce because you're waiting for some epiphany or some moment when you feel 110%, this is the loving voice from the universe reminding you that there isn't always 110% available anymore. We show up anyways, and what we provide is enough. I'm going to say that again. Who we are and what we provide, even when we don't feel our best or look our best, is enough. So, this is me walking the damn talk in the moment. I'm not feeling my best. I'm not feeling like myself. Whatever. I still have a powerful message to share that I hope helps one person, because if it helps one person, then it's done its job. And I'm so, so grateful for the opportunity to even be here with you now. It means the world to me to have you listening, to have you taking some of your precious time to grow and to expand and to learn and to have real conversations about real things. So, you show up for me, I show up for you. We rest in a place of enoughness and let's freaking go. I have an announcement. I am offering my first ever free masterclass. If you've been wanting to be in my world, if you've been wanting to work with me in some capacity, you've got to come to my free masterclass. Okay, it's called the Perfectionism Detox, Reclaiming Your Worth and Inner Peace. The Perfectionism Detox, Reclaiming Your Worth and Inner Peace. So, if you are a high achieving, ease seeking, busy working mama on the brink of burnout, ready to ditch perfectionism so that you can get unstuck, so that you can take aligned action, so that you can get busy creating a life that you actually freaking love, this is a beautiful free offer for you. There's 3 things that I'm going to be covering in this free masterclass. Number 1, I'm going to help you understand and identify your flavor of perfectionism. So, how is your perfectionism showing up? Where the heck does it come from? And what are the implications? How is it affecting you to be living with this perfectionism? And you guys know that your girl loves to get deep. So we're going to be digging for the root of things. We're going to be getting to the bottom of things so we can start to heal and integrate and become and freaking rise. Number two is I'm going to be giving you real therapeutic strategies to overcome perfectionism. Okay. We're going to be talking about healing your parts. All right, internal family systems therapy, the inner child, the protective part. I'm going to be giving you ACT, acceptance and commitment therapy tools and techniques to help you diffuse from and reframe your thoughts. I'm going to be teaching you subconscious reprogramming. We're literally going to rewire you for enoughness, because in that place of enoughness is where we can access more joy, more creativity, and more ease. So you are going to walk away with a handful of tried and true proven strategies to help you overcome the perfectionism. And then last, number 3, we're going to reclaim inner peace and your unshakable worth. Okay. Perfectionism comes from a fear of not being enough. And so, in order to really uproot this and heal it, we have got to work on the who the heck am I before the world told me who I was supposed to be, so I can embody my confidence in who I am. So I can live in the authentic expression of who I'm supposed to be. So, this is going to help you get clear on who the heck you really are, help you get clear on some mindfulness techniques and some regulatory strategies to help you calm and regulate and slow things down so you can be really grounded and rooted and present. And so, if you've had an experience like this with me before, you know that it's going to be a party. It's going to be an energetic, just splurge of goodness. We are going to dance, we're going to laugh, we're going to cry, and you're going to learn some deep and profound lessons that are going to help you transform your life. So, you do not want to miss this, babe. It is freaking free. It is on July 19th from noon Mountain Standard Time until 1:30. So it's a 90-minute workshop, free to you. There's a link in the show notes. Claim your spot today. Please invite your fellow sisters and mom friends and mom bosses, because together we rise. And this is going to be such a fun experience for us to do just that. All right. So join me for the Masterclass Perfectionism Detox, Reclaiming Your Worth and Inner Peace. I cannot wait to see you there. It's going to be a transformational party in true Brooke Jean unperfected fashion. All right, let's get into the topic today. So, the topic for the podcast today is setting realistic and compassionate goals, which just so happens to be one of the strategies that I teach in the masterclass around overcoming perfectionism. So, here's the problem as I see it: us high achieving, high performing, type A, often anxious, go getters, driven women, we love to shoot for the stars. We love to go hard for our goals. There is no shortage of effort. There is no shortage of drive. We decide every new year for our New Year's resolution, we're going to do it all, honey. We're going to lose weight. We're going to be more kind and loving. We're going to be more patient parents. We're going to have more sex in our marriage. We're going to grow the business. We're going to grow the brand. We're going to get an investment property. We're going to start saving. We're going to go on vacations. We want to do it all, don't we? We have a desire to do it all. But when we set these lofty goals, we trick our brains into something called a freeze state. We quite literally overwhelm our systems. And the reason why this happens is because there's a mechanism in our brain that measures effort for outcome. So if you're like, it's January 1st, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to grow my business, I'm going to fix my marriage, your brain is infinitely intelligent. Your mind is infinitely intelligent. And it goes, there's no bloody way that we're going to make all of that happen. There's not enough time, energy, and sanity in the world, honey, to make all of that happen. So, you know what we're going to do? Nothing. We're going to shut you down. You're going to go into mental overload. You're going to go into energetic overwhelm, and you're going to literally be frozen and stuck, and you're going to do nothing. So, how many of you have been sitting in front of your computer and you open up your email and you have your document from yesterday of the thing that you're creating? And then you've also got, your alarms and you've got your notifications on your phone, and just things start rolling in. And you look at your to do list as you see the dings and the emails pile up, and you immediately just sit and you feel paralyzed. You don't even know where to start. Somehow you've lost your energy, you've lost your motivation, and you're like, where do I begin? That moment, and I know that you felt this before, there's an actual explanation to that in your brain and your body. It is in a legit shutdown. It is in a freeze state. You've taken off or you've bit off more than you can chew, and your brain is smart and your mind is smart. And it goes, you know what? There's not enough of us to go around today. There's not enough time, energy, and sanity to do the to do list, to get back to all these emails, to finish the document, to check all the notifications, to get back to this person, to get the kids to soccer, to get the dinner on the table. There's not enough. And so we go into complete and total shutdown. So it's not that something is wrong with you. It's not that you're doing it wrong. It's that you're not utilizing this information I'm sharing with you to manipulate your own brain and body into action. So, by setting small, realistic, and compassionate goals, you can trick your brain into taking action. And one little baby step feels really good, and it releases all the reward hormones that then fire up an intrinsic motivation to keep doing more. Okay. So if you're a driven person, it feels hard to make mini goals. It feels painful to say, I'm just going to do this one thing every single day for the next 30 days. You go, That's too easy. That's not going to give me a big enough transformation. That's not going to get the results I want." So you don't do that. You do the big, lofty goals, and then you wonder why you don't get there. Take out the big, lofty goals, my babes. You have a vision, right? You have a vision for who you want to be. Do you want to be a leader? Do you want to be a writer? Do you want to be a speaker? Do you want to be a good mother? Do you want to be an influential community member? Do you have a movement that you're creating in the world? What is your vision? Your vision is your heart led big picture dream. Okay. You look at that vision and you break it down into milestones, right? So if I want to be a highly impactful and inspiring leader that reminds humanity that life is better unperfected, and I want to live out that mission using my voice on this podcast, on big stages, on the internet, in my containers, with my clients, with my family, with my friends, with my community, I have this big message that I want to share. In order to get to that vision and how I will feel when I'm embodying that message that I get to share, I break that down. I reverse engineer it into goals, right? So you got to decide that that's your brand. You've got to market your brand. You've got to start getting the clients. You've got to work with the clients. You've got to embody the work and the brand. Next, it's like, okay, well, now I want to have a podcast. That was a goal that I have. Okay, now I want to have 10,000 downloads. That was a goal that I have. Okay, now I want to add a team member, another therapist to the team. That was a goal that I have. Okay, now I want to do deeper trauma healing. So that way I don't have blocks to the expansion of what I'm able to do as a leader, what I'm able to hold, and what that capacity is, right? So I have my big vision, and then I have my milestones that allow me to see that I'm making my way toward my vision. And those milestones become goals. Those milestones become goals. So, the next milestone I have in my business, besides my personal work, which I'm doing like deep freaking inner child work, deep reprogramming work, and deep energy healing work right now, transgenerational energy healing work right now. In addition to the personal side of things, I am launching some online courses and offers. And I have been investing in coaching programs that are teaching me how to create a lead magnet, how to grow my email list, how to create a free masterclass, then invite people into a course, an online container to learn all of these teachings that I love to share, to be with more people, to serve more people. So, this is the month in July that I'm actually doing all of these things. Okay. So, that's a goal to launch my online part of my business and to have some online offers. This is a huge goal for me this month. So I had to break that goal down into 1,000 baby steps, realistic and compassionate goals. So I want you to think about this right now. Do it with me. What is your big vision? What are your milestones that are going to help you know that you're making your way to your big vision? What is the next goal, the next milestone that you have? And I want you to start to map out 20 little steps that are going to help you get there. So if I want to break out into the online space and have an online offer, I needed to learn how to do it. So one of my baby steps was research who's doing it well so I can learn from them. Then after the research, it was invest in the program. Then after investing in the program, it was setting time on my calendar to go through the modules to learn 1 hour a day. So I've been getting up and after my morning ritual before I see clients, I've been working on this online part of my business from like 6 to 7:30 in the morning most days. I have built this out behind the scenes in the morning, but I had to set the time aside first. I had to communicate to my partner, that's what I'm doing. So I need you to take care of Chloe, right? Then I had to get my virtual assistant on board and start giving some of this to her. And then we realized, oh shit, we need to make assets and graphics. And then it was like, okay, now I have to create a lead magnet. Now that needs marketing and copy and graphics. Okay, now I need to create the masterclass. What do I want to cover? Now that needs marketing copy, a landing sales page, and graphics, right? So you see how if I didn't break down the breaking out into the online space into baby steps, I'm telling you right now, I would have just said fuck it. Which actually I said fuck it the last 7 years because I've been wanting to do this for a long time. I've known intuitively that my real magic is doing things in person, but I need entry level ways to work with us where people can get some of our magic at a reasonable price point and that there's more to share with more people. I've known this for a while and I love coaching and teaching and training online. I love recording videos and my voice and all this nonsense. And I just love to freaking teach. Teaching and learning are part of my soul's mission. So why not record videos and teach people and then get together with them to live coach them to assist in more transformations across the globe, right? But because I was just like, okay, so I'm going to need to create this and launch it and sell it and execute it, I would immediately go into panic and overwhelm and freeze, and I would kick the can down the road. Well, I don't actually need that part of my business. We have a thriving counseling practice. I have a thriving mastermind. I have clients that are companies that I get to work for and do trainings every month and live coaching. Like we have an abundance of kick ass clients and business that I am so freaking grateful for. And yet there was this like knocking at the door that was just like, Brooke, there's more. Brooke, there's more. You can help more people. You can reach a larger audience. You can make passive income. So maybe you can retire your husband early from Target because he works his ass off in a store. Or you can retire your parents early. Or you can pay for Chloe's college. Or you can, whatever, help people, right? And so I finally set the vision, broke out the goals, and I gave myself permission to have this online education as a goal. But it wasn't until I broke that down into realistic and compassionate mini micro movements that I was able to actually unstuck myself and get started. So take your one next goal that moves you toward your vision. And I want you to break it down into 20 at minimum. I'm not even exaggerating. Minimum of 20 baby steps. And you got to consider things like making the time for it, scheduling it into your calendar, communicating to necessary parties. I'm struggling to talk today. Communicating to the necessary parties what you're going to need, making the investment in yourself, getting the materials that you're going to need, setting aside the time to create, setting aside the time to collaborate. Like, plan it out, turn it into baby steps. And then it's like, okay, every single day I'm going to get up and I'm going to spend a half an hour on this project. Every day I'm going to kick the ball down the field for a half an hour. Do you know how far you will get and you will go in your business and in your life and leadership if you commit to one thing for 30 minutes every day, even if it's just 5 days a week, or even if it's just 3 days a week? You will be in going in a completely different direction in your life, leadership, and business if you do that. This is powerful, powerful coaching right here, my loves. Break your goals into micro goals. Make it so doable that even your brain is like, that's silly. Of course, I can do that for a half an hour a day. That doesn't even feel like important. If it doesn't even feel important, perfect. It's the perfect size. You're going to trick your brain into it's so easy, it's inevitable. But if you were to think this is inevitable and you keep showing up day after day after day doing the inevitable, guess what's going to happen in 6 months from now? You're going to build out an entire e course that you're going to launch into the world and you're going to make passive income. And I can teach you how to do that. Get in my mastermind. Okay. But it goes the same for your relationship and your marriage. Okay. Spend 10 minutes a day connecting with your partner. Spend 10 minutes a day asking them how they're doing. Spend 10 minutes a day listening to a attachment book or podcast. Spend 10 minutes a day researching couples therapist. Spend 10 minutes a day figuring out your own attachment patterns, right? You want to become a healthier version of yourself. Spend 10 minutes a day and do that over and over and over and over until you are in a different place from that. Here's the impact that this has on you as a perfectionist. There's this really nasty cycle that we get stuck in where, as a highly driven person, we have big goals, big dreams. And so we set these lofty goals. And then when we don't achieve them, we shame ourselves and we tell ourselves that we need more effort. And we double down on our masculine to make shit happen. And we burn ourselves out. And will we get there? You bet. Because a perfectionist, she eventually gets what she wants, but she does it in an unhealthy way that leads her to potential burnout, that leads her to resentment, that leads her to depression and collapse, that leads her to autoimmune diseases, that leads her to marital problems, that leads her to overeating, overdrinking, and overspending to cope with the pressure she places on herself to get where she wants to go. Trust me, I did all of that. I did all of that. And what's so heartbreaking about that is that you can be the purest person with the best intentions and you can fuck your whole life up trying to get there. I did all that. So please learn from me that, babe, that is not the way. There is a way to have a big goal and a big purpose and a big mission and to take aligned, energy rich action day after day and to maybe even enjoy the flippin' ride, to do it in a way that's congruent with your gifts, that allows you to enter into flow, where time collapses and doors open and the right connections come in, where you are just celebrating the shit out of it. There's a way to get where you want to go with intentionality. That is the unperfected way. You see, at unperfected, it's not that we don't have driven goals. It's not that we don't live in big missions. It's that the way that we go about it is different than the way that we were taught. We no longer live in over analyzing and force and grit and discipline and doubling down and strong and all that. We now do it utilizing our strengths in small doses when it feels good, in alignment with our energy. We do things that we enjoy doing. We take care of our vessels. We follow the feel good. We look at the enoughness. We celebrate the journey. We connect. We collaborate. We use our intuition. And this is how we get where we want to go. And when we ride this magic carpet ride, honey, to the west, I got to tell you, it's so much more fulfilling. It's so much more fulfilling. So, when we do it this way, when we set these small and realistic and compassionate goals that are easy to achieve, when we show up day after day with consistency and we do achieve them and we're in our integrity, guess what that builds? Self worth. Guess what is the biggest problem with perfectionists? Self worth. So every day that you show up and you work on your thing for 30 minutes, you get more self worth. Every day that you show up and you work on your wellness for 10 minutes, building that trust with yourself and your value and your worth. Every day that you show up 10 minutes for your marriage and you're in your integrity, you're telling yourself that you do what you say you're going to do, build self worth. You see, when I teach people how to overcome perfectionism, I do it from the bottom up and from the top down. The bottom up is getting to the root of the perfectionism and healing the part of you that doesn't feel like she's enough, the worthiness. And the top down is the day in and day out when you're telling yourself that it needs to be better, you redirect your thoughts to it's enough. And you use mindfulness techniques and cognitive behavioral therapy techniques to shift and shift again and change your habits and create new habits. But it's only both that really get to the full mind, body, and spirit transformation. That is the unperfected method. So, when you shoot for the stars, you can overwhelm your system and go into shutdown and get nowhere fast and then think there's something wrong with you and then sit and spin in your ideas for literal decades. Or you can come with me on this journey, baby. Come on the train. There's room for you. I love you. You're welcome here. You're not too fucked up. It's not too far gone. You're not too late, baby. You're right on time. Get on the program, sweetie. We're going to try things a different way. We're going to work with our energy. We're going to work with our subconscious mind. We're going to heal from the inside out to change our external reality. We are going to embrace our messy. We are going to shed the shoulds and we're going to find flippin' freedom in a life unperfected. And in doing it in this way, we are going to live purposeful and meaningful lives. We are going to become the woman we were destined to be, the leader we were destined to be, the entrepreneur we were destined to be, the mother, the queen we were destined to be. And it just so happens that we're going to enjoy the effing journey. Because what I know is that it's about the journey, anyways. It's not about the final destination. It really isn't. So understand where you're going, big vision, because it puts a pin on a map so we can see where we're going, so we can reverse engineer our path to where we're going with goals and then daily baby steps, little realistic aligned goals that move us toward that every single day. This is also how you get unstuck, right? When you're sitting and spinning, you've got too many tabs open, step away from the computer, pop in your bilateral music, walk around the block, and come back and say, what's one baby step I could take? What's one thing I could do? You do that one thing that feels so silly, it doesn't even feel significant enough. You do the one thing, you get some motivation hormones, some reward hormones going. Now you're motivated to take the next step and the next step. So there's real psychology behind setting realistic goals. And what I want you to do after you set your 20 realistic steps to that one goal, I want you to celebrate the living daylights out of every single step. You got up early, you celebrate. You got another sale, you celebrate. You did what you said you're going to do, you celebrate. You had a little moment with your kids this morning, you celebrate. You celebrate the lights are turned on, that the sun is out today. Let's start celebrating the shit out of our progress, not just our final destinations, because what you focus on expands. And if what you're focusing on is how far you need to go, that feeling of how far I need to go is going to grow. But if you focus on how far you've come and all the enoughness and the effort and the triumphs, and like, look at me, I am literally making 1 degree turns every day. When you focus on that, that grows, that expands. You're going to experience more of that. Okay. So, part of overcoming perfectionism is honoring that there's a part of you that has big goals, dreams, and desires, getting clear on your vision, but then reverse engineering it into milestones that are goals, and then breaking that one goal down into 20 micro steps that you commit to day in and day out, and you celebrate the living heck out of it when you do what you say you're going to do. Celebration breeds abundance and opportunity, just like joy does. So, one of the things that I'm realizing is that I celebrate the big things, but I don't celebrate the micro shifts that I make every day to become a better person. And so today's July 1st. And so this morning after my morning meditation, I journaled my June. And I like to recap how I spent my time, energy, and sanity, my precious jewels. Was it in alignment with what I want out of my life? Where did I move the needle? And what I realized is that, man, yeah, you can see I'm moving the needle on my business. I'm moving the needle on my marriage. I'm moving the needle on my healing. I'm moving the needle on my parenting. I'm moving the needle on how I'm spending my time. I'm moving the needle on my productivity. But what I wasn't acknowledging is every single time that I chose a new way of being versus an old pattern, every time that I chose to respond to a trigger differently, every time I caught a negative thought taking over and I reframed it and chose a new path forward. Every time I chose to go for a walk instead of drinking a glass of wine. Every time that I chose to see my husband's gold instead of seeing how fucking annoying he is because he didn't do something, right? Like every time I chose a new way of being, that is profound. That is therapy. And we don't double click on that and sit in that and celebrate that enough. We only celebrate if I'm a different person, if I'm a patient mother, if I'm a great wife, if I'm making $100,000 year or months or whatever. We only celebrate the big shit. But do you understand that we only get to the big shit when we do a million little moves to get there? So every time that you chose different, babe, you are a walking miracle. I want you to know that. I mean this from the bottom of my heart. When you choose the healthy item over the unhealthy item, when you choose the conscious parenting or the conscious connection over the unconscious, when you choose to embody your worth and see your enoughness over falling into the trap of perfectionism, when you tap into courage and put something out into the world instead of redoing it, reworking it, and perfecting it until 2 in the morning, when you go to a networking event and then you don't sit and overanalyze your every move for the next 2 days, when you go out and you only have 2 drinks instead of 10, like you are making those micro shifts every day, and we're probably not celebrating them enough. So let's start celebrating those. I'm going to make an effort of this. Definitely follow along on Instagram at Brooke Jean Unperfected. Last month I shared you guys how I really chose to find the joy in the small ways and in the big ways. This month, I'm going to share with you guys what I'm trying to celebrate. And I'm celebrating the small things, not just the big things. And what I'm curious about, come on this journey with me. I have a really big goal for July because I am launching this online stuff. I have a really big goal. And I'm not just going to celebrate when I hit the big goal. I'm actually going to celebrate the micro shifts. And when I double down on focusing on those, I'm going to see if that's what actually helps me obtain the big goal. So July is hard because Chloe's out for summer and we have already a couple childcare problems breaking down. I'm already taking Tuesdays off to spend quality time with her. And then our nanny is like on vacation for a week and then had a family emergency for another week. And so I'm piecemealing things together. So I'm already cramming all of my workload, all of my personal stuff, all of my healing into 4 days a week or less. And then I layered in this online stuff. And I believe that I'm going to be able to do it because I'm going to focus on the enoughness, because I'm going to show up messy. I'm going to show up consistently. I'm going to protect my things that make me feel like me and alive. I'm still going to go to dance class. I'm still going to go to yoga. I'm going to do the things. And you watch. That will be the method that helps me achieve the big, lofty goal, not the strategy. Now, I do have some strategy. I'll teach you guys strategies all day long. But I've told myself that the summer is hard because I don't have enough time to work. And I'm actually tossing out that old belief system and saying I can actually do whatever I put my mind to so long as it's in alignment with a couple of things that I really want to bring to light. Not all the things, but a couple of things. So come with me on this journey to see if celebrating the heck out of every little baby step helps me get where I want to go and helps me have a successful launch of the online courses and helps it get into the heads and hearts of a lot of women. So let's recap, babes. Let's recap. As perfectionists, we have big, lofty goals. They're so lofty. We take on more than we can chew. We say yes to everything. And that literally puts our brain and nervous system into a freeze state, a stuck state, frozen. And in order to get unstuck, to get into aligned action, to build momentum toward your goals, toward your vision, you got to set smaller goals, realistic, reasonable, compassionate goals. So start with your vision. Who are you becoming? What is your big fucking why? Your big, juicy, hairy, bold why. Reverse engineer that into the goals, the milestones that will let you know that you're on your road, you're on the path. Then take the very next goal that you have and break that down into 20 mini goals that almost feel ridiculous. They're so easy. Set the time and the commitment, claim it here and now. Come into the Facebook group, Mommy's Mental Health Matters, and make your proclaim what you're committing to there so we can all hold the vision energetically for you and support you and show up for it in 10-minute increments, 20-minute increments, 30-minute increments every day and see what's possible. You're going to build your self-worth because you're going to be in your integrity. You're going to release hormones that are reward center hormones that feel like motivation, ambition, and ambition. So it's going to help you keep showing up and keep showing up. And then I want you to celebrate often because when we celebrate, we create more of what we're focusing on and it feels good too, doesn't it? And then we also help with the reward center hormones. And let's normalize celebrating progress over perfection. Let's normalize celebrating the little micro shifts that are profound in the transformation and involvement of our becoming. Let's brag on the internet about our wins and let's cheer each other on instead of going, oh, who does she think she is, or getting jealous or whatever. Like, let's normalize miracles in this MFR because that begets miracles. Miracles beget miracles. Joy begets joy. Celebration begets celebration. So join me on the gram. Let's celebrate together. Let's be in this together. Definitely join my free masterclass. Guys, this technique about the vision and the goals and the micro aligned actions, this is one out of like 20 things I'm going to teach you in the free masterclass, Perfectionism Detox. So sign up for that shit today. Claim your spot. You are not going to want to miss it. Let's let go of who we think we're supposed to be so that we can create a life we actually love. I'm sending you guys so much love today and always. Take care of yourselves and there for each other. And I'll see you same time, same place next week. Bye for now. Hey, mama, if you made it to the end of this episode, I just want to virtually high five you because you've said yes to the opportunity of taking better care of yourself. And that is so meaningful and so amazing. You have no idea the ripple of goodness that's to come. If you've been enjoying the show, if you've been finding it helpful, if you've laughed a little or learned a new technique, will you do me a favor? Will you make sure that you're following the show, that you've given us a 5-star rating and left a review? That will absolutely help us get this podcast into more heads and hearts of as many mamas as possible. Because when we heal the mother, we heal the world. Also, if there's a specific episode that you've loved, will you make sure to share it with a friend? Just send them the link or share it on social media and make sure you tag me at Brooke Jean Unperfected because I absolutely love seeing that this is actually giving you the impact that you so desire and deserve. Thank you so much, mamas. Make sure you're taking care of yourselves and therefore each other.